I've grown a lot of grass from seed over the last handful of years. I've done it in a lot of different ways. I've covered it up with peat moss. I've covered it up with straw. I've also grown grass from seed where I didn't cover it up at all. I've experimented with different ways of growing grass from seed with and without covering it up. So with that preamble out of the way, I want to talk to you about how to grow grass from seed without covering it up and whether or not you should actually try it. Long story short, it's certainly possible to grow grass from seed without covering it. All seed needs to germinate is literally the correct air temperature and moisture. The problem here is when the grass seed is not touching the soil all the way around, the grass seed dries out. So it's hard to have a stable moisture environment around that seed. And of course, if the seed isn't touching the soil, then once it germinates, it has nothing to root down into, and then it will die. If you do plan on attempting to just overseed your lawn or put grass seed down on a bare spot like hard packed dirt on your lawn, but not do anything to it, not cover it up, just give it a little bit of water every now and then, it's most likely not going to germinate at all. If you're not going to cover the seed, you're literally going to have to be out there like a hawk or have some sort of like crazy timer set up to be misting your grass seed every 30, 45 minutes throughout the day, especially during the hottest part of the year, to keep that seed in a stable moisture environment so that it is able to germinate and root down into the soil. Most people who attempt to grow grass from seed without covering it up end up wasting a ton of seed, and they spend a lot of energy going out there trying to get it to germinate with water. After a month or two goes by, they usually think, oh man, I wasted time and money, and then they have to go and put new seed down again. In the long run, the amount of work, effort, time, physical hours spent tending to grass seed that is not covered up dwarfs the amount of time and effort and money, really, that it takes to cover the grass seed up in the first place. Just going off to a home and garden store and picking up a single bag of peat moss is usually around 25 to 30 bucks. And then you just spread it out over the seed, depending on your size. I mean, if you're just spot treating, it's only just a few extra minutes. You might not even need a gigantic bag. You just grab some of the peat moss, sprinkle it over the top of it. If you're a little bit more environmentally conscious, you go out there and buy some coconut coir, which is a little bit harder to do because you got to prep the stuff. But you stick that stuff over the seed and it's going to germinate so much better. This is especially important if you got hard packed dirt or bare dirt. If there's no grass or even weeds sheltering the seed, then it's going to be harder to get that grass seed to germinate. So covering it up is even more important. I go into this in more detail in this video up here about growing grass on hard packed dirt. If the hard packed dirt scenario reflects your situation, I recommend watching this. If you are getting into lawn care for the first time ever, go into the description below and take a look at my Don't Know Where to Start series. It's an email series and it's totally free.